Doctor Who Logopolis, the 42nd story of the Fourth Doctor, is written by Christopher H. Bidmead and starring Tom Baker, Matthew Waterhouse, Sarah Sutton and Janet Fielding. The last story of Tom Baker as the Fourth Doctor, and the introduction of Janet Fielding as Tegan Jovanka. The story was filmed in Crowsley Park. They used the model of Lovell telescope as the Pharos project based on the Mark I telescope, but it's got some modifications from the Mark IA telescope, such as the rim around the edge of the dish. The lay-by scene was shot in southbound side of the A413 Amersham Road, Denham, near Gerrard's Cross. So the story begins at Barnet lay-by with policemen using police box to contact someone until the Master materialised the TARDIS around the police box, and I find the laugh pretty scary. So the Doctor and Adric talking about going to Gallifrey, Earth and Logopolis, and discussing about measuring the TARDIS, and possibly Time Lords complaining about Romana in E-Space. Meanwhile, Tegan Jovanka, who isn't very well organised, jumps into a sports car with her aunt Vanessa to drive up to airport, until at one point the tyres are flattened. As they arguing sorting tyres out and saw the Watcher at the field, Tegan went into the TARDIS and goes down the corridor hoping to meet someone. As the TARDIS appeared inside the TARDIS, the Doctor and Adric went through one TARDIS after another with cloister bell sounds, which is pretty effective. And I do love the cloister bell sound. So Vanessa has a look inside the TARDIS, but she seems scared as we can hear the Masters laughing. So then the Doctor came out the TARDIS and being questioned by the police. So the Doctor sees a tiny Vanessa and policeman in the sports car. He realises the Master has escaped from Traken. So the Doctor gets arrested as the police thinks he caused an incident. So Adric pretended to be injured to distract them. So the Doctor and Adric managed to get back in the TARDIS just in time while the policeman asked them to get out and ordered the other one to fetch the key. Tegan is lost in the cloister room, hearing the Masters laugh, so she keeps finding her way out. The Doctor dematerialised the TARDIS. The police open the door and it's just a police box with no one there. So the Doctor plans to land under the water to flush the Master out, and there was no pressure on the door. As the Doctor and Adric walked out, they realised they landed on River Thames, which really made me laugh as it was so funny. So the Doctor sees the Watcher at the bridge and telling him to go to the Logopolis, so he did, and Tegan made it into the control room and asked to see who's in charge. And I love the Doctor's face when he's like, awkward.
I demand to see who's ever in charge of this ship!
The moments where the Doctor realised that Tegan's aunt is the one who got shrinked to death in sports car by the Master. She's part of the TARDIS team now, so they met Monitor in Logopolis while the Doctor uses computers and machines to calculate the numbers. Master has killed some of the Logopolitans. While the Doctor is in the TARDIS, Nessa met Tegan and Adric, then suddenly the TARDIS shrinks. Tom Baker, like I said, is brilliant as the Fourth Doctor. Even though his illness and arguing with people, he's still amazing. It's a shame what's been happening. What I heard was Tom didn't like what John Nathan Turner was going for, and he didn't like how the season got changed. He was worried leaving the series and couldn't get along with everybody, bless him. Matthew Waterhouse and Sarah Sutton played Adric and Nessa, brilliant companions. Janet Fielding played Tegan Jovanka, who's an Australian human being from Earth, who goes to Heathrow Airport for a job as an air stewardess, but of course got herself caught up inside the TARDIS, and when she meets the Doctor, she became the companion. The character was created because originally Elizabeth Sladen and Louise Jameson were going to come back as Sarah Jane Smith and Leela, but they didn't want to, so they got replaced by Tegan and Nessa. John Nathan Turner suggested to use a name Tegan after an Australian girl he knew, and Jovanka after Yugoslavia. Christopher H. Bidmead mistook Tegan Jovanka as a full name, but it's great though. I do like the character as well, and that is my honest opinion. I do like all companions, just like I do like all the Doctors. Anthony Ainley as the Master is fantastic. His laugh is so terrifying. John Fraser played the Monitor, who's the leader of the Logopolitan, who's a good friend to the Doctor. Before John got the role, the actors were considered for the role are Harry Andrews, Bernard Archard, Jeffrey Baildon, Peter Cushing, Maurice Denham, Frank Finlay, Barry Foster, Maris Gorin, Michael Goff, William Lucas, Nigel Stock, Frank Winter, and Peter Wingard. Delorey Whiteman played Vanessa, Tegan's aunt, human obviously. Tom Georgeson played Detective Inspector, a policeman who accused the Doctor of murder. Alan Armstrong, Paul Jericho, Alex Sabin, John Sabadent, and Michael Sheard were considered for the role, but obviously went to Tom Georgeson, who previously played Cavill in Genesis of the Daleks. Logopolitician are humanoid mathematicians from the planet Logopolis, and I thought they were interesting races. The Watcher, not to be confused with that Watcher, is from Gallifrey, an object for the Doctor leading to his fourth regeneration. I'd love to see the Watcher again. The cast did an excellent job, the sets and effects are great. I do love the music by Patty Kingsland. So the TARDIS got shrinked with the Doctor in it, so the TARDIS got carried to the central registry so they can stabilise it and work out how to get the TARDIS back to normal size. Nessa met up with the Master, who she thought he's Tremas, who became young, and gave her the bracelet which controlled her. So Adric went to Nessa. As soon as the TARDIS got back to normal size, the Doctor came out and thanked Monitor and Tegan. When he realises that Adric and Nessa went to look for the Master, he mentions deaths, which disturbed Tegan. The moments after Monitor said death of innocent Logopoliticians, and the Doctor said the death of innocent Earth people, Tegan found out that Aunt Vanessa is killed and cried. The Master plans to destroy Logopolis. The Doctor found Nessa and Adric, then looked at the Watcher saying he's prepared for the worst. Doesn't sound good. Nessa finds out that Tremas is dead and the Master took his body, so at that point the Doctor had no choice but to save the universe. The Watcher brought the TARDIS. The Doctor orders all of his companions inside and pointed out that Adric is a stowaway. Nessa contacted the Doctor to help her find her father, and Tegan's curiosity brought her into the situation. So the Master and Doctor shook each other's hand to work together. As the Doctor and the Master head back to the control room, Tegan follows. Monitor is working on completing a program to make the CVEs permanent, so after he gets dissolved away, the Master got away. The Doctor and Tegan dismantled the computers, then they needed to go down to Earth. So the Doctor, Tegan and the Master went to the Master's TARDIS to go to Radio Telescope on Earth, while Adric and Nessa thought the Watcher was taking them out of space and time, but they ended up in the same place where the Doctor, Master and Tegan are. At daytime there are security guards. After figuring out the transmitters pointed away from the last surviving CVE, the Doctor, Master and Tegan sneaks past the guards, then outrun them. After Adric spoke to the Watcher, Tegan, Nessa and Adric distract the guards. While the Doctor and the Master were running, the Master picked his weapon up, the Doctor climbed up to the radio telescope, and the Master used his TARDIS to bring himself there. The Master, while holding the Doctor at gunpoint, tells the people that if they do not acknowledge his rule, he will send a signal to close the CVE and restart the collapse. The guards were coming. The Doctor tripped the Master with his scarf on the antenna walkway, so then the Master tips the walkway over while the Doctor disconnects the cables and about to fall. Which looked pretty lethal, and I liked when he gets the flashbacks of the enemies the Fourth Doctor has fought in the past, like the Crispy Master, Dalek, Pirate Captain, Cyberman, Davros, Centauran, Zygon and Black Guardian. So the Doctor lost his grip and falls to the ground. The Master got away in his TARDIS, so Adric, Ness and Tegan ran to the Doctor while being followed by the guards. The Doctor is dying, and it's nice that he gets flashbacks of his incarnations as companions, which are Sarah Jane Smith, Harry Sullivan, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, Leela, K9, Romana 1 and 2. The Doctor said it's the end, but the moment has been prepared for. The Watcher went into the Fourth Doctor and then morphing into the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davidson, and sat up after the regeneration is done. Man, it's so sad to see Tom Baker leaving. I think tissues are required for this. There's an explanation about Watcher and behind the scenes if you want to check it out, just to save me from typing all that in. We get cool commercial of Season 18 Blu-ray box set of Galactic Glitter package tours, with Tom Baker voicing it, many to choose from such as which stories to watch, updated effects behind the sofa, many special features, and you could even watch Canine and Company on this box set, which is cool.
It was the loveliest job I ever had.
So, what did you think of Logopolis and Season 18? Did Tom Baker's regeneration scene make you cry? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks people as always for watching, and see you in the next video.